Welcome to the Game Corner, another video game podcast. My name is Harrison. You might know me online as RobKTA, and I am joined by my friends and co-hosts.
Rowan, you might know me as Mocha, and I am joined by my future opponent.
And this is Sheldon. You probably know me as Captain Unova.
What's up, y'all? It's been a week. We are doing stuff. Things are happening. Ruinous Pokémon are trying to ruin our lives in the future. Malamar is all topsy-turvy. And then something
See
else.
what you did there. That was nice.
I tried.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
I tried to do like the whole...
Bruno should hire you.
No, Bruno? you didn't put me on the roster, so I'm available.
You could have asked.
Well, I kind of did. In a passing comment.
Okay.
I don't think he caught it. Bruno, I love you. Anyway. There's already, like, he already had the roster when I saw. I was like, oh.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Sad. I'm not one of... It's okay. You two are on it. You two are facing each other.
Week one, somehow.
Week one? That's amazing.
I call it shenanigans.
All right, yeah. So for the uninitiated, I think I might have talked about this last year when I was working on it.
Yeah, we both did, because we both played in it last year.
Yeah, we played in different versions of the league. Like, he tested it on us in the Georgia community, and then you played in the first non-Georgia one. So the Malamar games are a league where they basically spin a roulette wheel, run by our friend Bruno over in Georgia VGC, and the wheel determines the theme for the week, and it's always something kind of wacky. Sometimes it's more wacky than other weeks. I think this first week is you can't use anything in the top 100 of usage,
which is kind of wild.
That eliminates a lot of options. So we're using some wacky stuff.
The teams that we've seen so far, that I've seen from I guess Kevin actually is the one who shared his team, because y'all are in the same chat.
We can't share our team.
Yeah, right.
Oh, fair enough.
Well, we're gonna help
Kevin's
each other
team
build
looks
eventually, but. Yeah. What was I going to say? But there are some really big names playing. Let's see what's down the list. Brady, Audie, Joe UX9, Neil, Necra, Pengy, Sarah, Strider. You might know them as Marcus Dion. They've done really well in the last couple of regionals. Beanie, and then Kevin from Pokesports, and then us. I feel like we kind of stick out as not as big of names, but I'm glad.
I snuck in there because I won the last one, so he threw me in there since I won the last.
You got to start somewhere, though, right? Like, it's gonna be it's fantastic, and I like your idea, and we should totally implement it. Starting this week, y'all should bring your opponents onto the pod.
Hey.
That would be really
You're
cool.
already doing it.
Good job, guys.
Yeah,
Wow.
so the first week Cap and I are playing. But yeah, it's gonna be really good. I think everyone's uploading their matches. I mean, everyone's kind of at least somewhat into content creation within that list, right? So you'll be able to see pretty much every match just from them uploading it. It's all kind of for the content. We voted for closed sheets, which is normally not my jam, but I was on board for this one.
It was leaning that way, and I was like, okay, I gotta tie the vote open, and I was like, we need chaos.
I started voting for open sheets just because that's how I like to play, and then someone brought up, it's like, we're doing this for the content, and if we don't do it for the content, I'm gonna play Arcanine bundle Among Us every match, and I'm gonna try to outplay you, and no one wants to watch that. And like, you know what, fair, but
outplay me without it. Like, we'll bring back the Sword and Shield. Like, we are open.
You're not gonna be allowed to bring Arcanine bundle Among Us to like 99% of these themes anyway, so good luck on you. But
what is the actual tournament format for Malamar? Is it like Swiss or round robin?
Swiss. It's
whatever.
Yeah, it's round robin. You won't play everyone in the initial rounds. There's just not enough weeks and too many people.
Does it go to top cut for it?
Yeah, it'll go to top cut. I think he said top 8.
Okay, and there's how many of you now?
1, 2.
You just said the names,
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Actually, 13, 14, 15, 16 of us. So I think it just the cuts to half.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, I definitely couldn't have joined because I would have thrown off all the numbers.
You can
there you go.
Buy it.
There
It
you
doesn't
go.
really matter, but yeah, sure. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. I've got some stuff cooking for you, Cap. So.
Oh yeah, I've been in the lab. Even though I'm glad I took it to the ladder just to test things, because Worry Seed and Truant don't work together. Just
that's kind of wild, because it did work with Slow Start, but it doesn't work with Truant.
But because I was like, Slacking's under 100. I was like, that'll be fun, and then I can just Worry Seed it and it's go to town. And nope, you can't do that.
I was looking at that, and unfortunately, Grafai is like high 80s. So you
Yeah,
can't use
and its baby version doesn't get the doodle.
Yep. You and I have been looking at a lot of the same stuff.
Super not shocking. So that's exciting. Look forward to that content. Does that mean, Sheldon, you're going to be putting videos out on a YouTube?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
so we'll
upload
have
it to
both
my
points.
YouTube.
We'll have both points
I
of
have a
view.
pretty much dead YouTube, but it's there.
I know the feeling. Okay, cool. So send me that link because I don't have it on the LINKTREE. We'll do that later.
Oh yeah, I'll do that.
Especially once you have videos up. So cool. That is anything else for Malamar?
I think that's mostly it.
Is there a
that's the
central
basis.
thing for Malamar, or is it just?
No, it's just
random.
random.
And it's very it's
Yeah.
pretty private within the Discord. I mean, I think it'll be more public once just all of these high profile creators start posting videos about it.
Right.
But,
Yeah.
Okay.
but yeah, for now it's kind of in the dark.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
there's not too many people like in the actual server. It's just been the people that's played.
Right.
I
Okay.
think. So
All right. Fantastic. I'm looking forward to all that. That'll be very fun. USPA.
USPA, yeah.
That's another
so-
thing.
so I think
yep.
I was super wrong last week. I thought last week was the end of the group stages.
We've just finished it. 7 weeks.
Yep. I don't know why I thought we were done last week, but we're done now, and I think all of our teams are in playoffs, right?
Yeah, I'm actually really
Yes.
proud of us. We lost 1 week to New York, but it turns out New York lost 2 weeks, so we actually ended up top seed.
Oh, nice.
As far as I know, I actually the last ordering I saw had us have a higher score, but them be higher ranked because they had a better game differential. But I would think
Which is weird.
I would think that sets are most prioritized, but I don't know. Anyway, we had the best record in the division, so
So,
Nice.
yeah, so
That's
y'all got
pretty good.
y'all were one. Yeah. So we got the second seed. So if both our teams win this week, we play
yeah.
each other.
I think I think that's correct. Yeah, it's confirmed that
All
we're
three
playing,
of us are on the same side of the bracket
We are.
too.
Yeah.
we're playing Utah first week. Where are y'all seeing the bracket actually?
There's
I just looked on USPH server here.
I'm trying to find what page on this giant Google Docs it exists on. Playoffs?
There you go. I just posted it in
playoffs.
a chat there.
Thank you.
Yes. So
Ooh,
Georgia,
okay.
Utah, Carolinas, DMV, SoCal, Kansas, Florida, Oregon's Wisconsin.
Yeah, so we'd have to play. So Cap and I, Cap's team, the Carolinas, and my team, Georgia, would have to play in round of 8. It looks like.
The second
and then
round.
and then Florida, we'd have to play in round of 4. It's
Yep.
that is scary.
That's
Yep.
something. We'll see. We'll see if we can make it that far. It'd be fun to face
Pretty
y'all.
good.
So, yeah, that's exciting. It was super fun. Do y'all have any cool stories from that y'all want to share?
Honestly, no, it's just been really it's exactly the same format, give or take, as World Cup was, but
Right.
it's just a very different atmosphere, and there's not as much material to scout on people, so a lot of the times
Yeah.
it's,
I've had opponents where they don't have a Twitter, they're not in any other Discords, they're just, and so you can't scout anything because
Right.
there's just no information on them.
I haven't done any scouting.
So it's scouting is like a hit or miss kind of thing anyway, though, because sometimes someone can be showing they're doing the same thing over and over and then throw you a curveball because you prepared for one thing. And
right.
it's doable, especially when it's people who have gone to regionals, and now regionals are all open sheets, so you can see what they brought. Someone definitely scouted me the last week. They knew I liked Palafin, and they brought a Gastrodon team.
Sure.
Yeah, so I was like, I'm gonna maybe lay off the Palafin for a week or two.
yeah,
I'm debating doing that, in case people, I don't know, the only thing they could find is possibly searching Showdown replays of me right now.
You're in Knoxville too.
I mean, if they,
Yep.
I guess that's a good point. If they look through Knoxville and Orlando, they'll see, this guy likes the Dolphin. So maybe I should be careful on that, but
I'll bring Dondozo. Good luck and have fun.
he's open about it.
It's like Colossal. If Colossal was legal, Dynamax.
You know it's there. Can you beat it?
Colossal
Yeah,
is legal.
exactly.
You can play
Well, I
Colossal.
mean,
You can
in a
you should-
Dynamax, if it's good in a Dynamax
Right.
format. Let's say that.
Imagine
I will
Dondozo
play
in a
it.
Dynamax format.
Oh, that'd be so much fun.
Would
Fun is a word.
Actually-
would Tatsu grow to Dynamax size before it hops in the
It
mouth?
hops in its mouth.
Or would it be a really tiny Tatsu and a really big Dozo?
Because you're
Good question.
Dynamax, you get like, a 0.5 boot, like a very small boot. You only get the +1
Right.
to like one stat because it was
you've got a Dynamax after the fish hops in.
after the fish hops in, because you only get like a +1 to 1 stat because the Tatsu's so small.
That might be it. Yeah, they Dynamax together.
There you go.
Who knows? Anywho, yeah.
Or if you Dynamax and then your Dondozo gets KO'd while Dynamax, the Tatsu is Dynamax. So now you have a Dynamax Tatsu on the field.
that would actually be kind of cool. That would be really cool if that was the thing they did. It would, yeah, I'd be game for that. Except I don't want to face that. But yeah, I agree. The going through USPA has been pretty fun. I found myself in the Florida server for USPA before this season of USPA because they're like using it as the Florida local server as well. Now it actually is supposed to be the Florida local server and the USPA server, which is neat. So that's pretty cool. I don't know if they're doing the same for the other
that's
regions.
how Carolines have been.
Yeah.
Like it's just kind of like the local plus, and then we have
USPA.
like our own little USPA section.
Yep. So that's pretty cool. So meeting some locals is nice. And then when locals actually happen, there'll be some coordination and talking in there. That's cool. More community connections, which is nice.
Yeah. So I think our only other thing to talk about is Regulation C.
Yeah.
So we mentioned Regulation C last week. The Ruinous Pokemon are coming. They're gonna come
They are.
ruin the
Yep.
game.
And they're already on Showdown. You can already play this format, so people are
Yeah,
already
so-
going
I have
wild
yet
with the
to
player
even open it up. I
Um,
just haven't wanted to.
I don't want to either
I played a couple fun games, but I'm not going to seriously dive into it until
until after Charlotte.
after Charlotte. Yeah, 'cause I'm
Yeah.
gonna focus on Series 2 still. But with that said, I've been keeping my ear to the ground on all like the content being created around these, and there's some really
Well-
cool stuff you can do with them.
The key thing is this is what the season 0 was, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yes.
So we
This is
already had
100%.
So we have some like we've
I mean, I
played with them
played
some.
absolute smooth brain delete things teams
Yeah.
in the
I
previous,
feel like
Which-
I feel like that's what it was.
which worked. I think I was like top 10 on ladder at one
It
point.
worked,
It
and
was
I
just
think it's
like
still working.
not due to any like good play on my part. It's just like
Just
I'm gonna click heat
Terra
wave
normal
and
extreme
dazzling
speed.
gleam and watch you die. Like
It's true.
Yep.
No, it's interesting because the only change is those four mon, which is cool. The interactions will be fun because we get to see how their wild abilities work, which we can go over here in a moment. But like to your point about being smooth brain in Series 0, Regulation 0, whatever. Now people have played with these Pokemon, have found more interactions, better ways to play these. This new toolbox.
and it was very much like hyper offense always does well in the beginning of a format.
Yep.
And this was just magnified so much, A, because these tools are so powerful, and B, because in Series 0, people didn't even know what like most of the new Pokemon did. Like
Yeah, we didn't understand Terra yet. We didn't.
I mean,
Like,
even
it
one
was-
step further than that, like if you saw something that wasn't super meta, like you probably didn't know what moves it had or what it like.
Yeah, like
Right.
or
like I didn't know what a
speed tiers or
Goldingo
anything.
was yet.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
And I'm like, oh wow, that killed both of them. Okay, neat.
Yeah. So
and also like that's like a time too. Like we didn't like invest in bulk. You didn't. 'Cause what do you calc for?
252.
So like bulkier things now can do better. So like that'll be a big step up. But
Yeah,
because
and
that's
people
all it
were
was
not-
though. Like we were playing like turn 4 Pokemon. Like but you won or lost by turn 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's generous, honestly. Like that,
Yeah.
we and people were mostly using the offensive ruins as opposed to the defensive ones, and I guess we can jump into that. In a
yeah.
second
So
too.
do you want
Do
to
y'all
just
wanna-
kind of go through them one by one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Conveniently, my tabs have them up in order. Wow.
Do you want to start us off then?
Yeah, so Wuchen?
Okay.
Wochen?
Yeah, so I think the defensive ones like Wo-Chen have more interesting stuff to talk about than the offensive ones. But yeah, so Wo-Chen I feel like it's the grass dark one. It looks like a slug. It looks very sassy. It's giving you the side eyes.
I love the what is it? The meme that keeps going around, live Wo-Chen reaction.
Yes, exactly.
Is it Wo or Woo?
Well, I want to say it's
should be
spelled
Whoa.
Wo. Whether that's accurate or not, I don't know.
In my head, I've always said Woo, but like I think looking at it and trying to say it out loud, I think
it's a single.
Wo.
You got
It's a
Ting
single
because you have
O.
Ting. Yeah, it should be Woe.
Wo-Chen.
Until someone tells me I'm wrong, I'm gonna say Wo-Chen. But
We
so
are a Wo-Chen podcast now. Okay.
so this thing has pretty solid, like really solid bulk. I'd say like 85 HP, 100 defense, 135 special defense, and passable special attack. 95 average speed, 70 attack doesn't matter. But the cool thing about it, of course, is the ability, which lowers the attack of everything on the field by 30%. I want to say 25%.
30%.
0.75.
0.75? Okay, so
Oh, really?
25%, yeah.
Yeah.
So because defense is its lower stat, that means that it effectively has almost the same defense as its special defense, which is like you have an effective defense of 125 and an actual special defense of 135, which is just wild bulk. Like, and then on top of that, you get Leech Seed. So this is like, and Ruination, which is the signature ability of all these mons, which is just Nature's Madness. So you have this just forbidden love child between Ferrothorn and Tapu Fini, and it's I think it's the one that everybody's sleeping on the most, but it's going to be horrifying to play against, actually.
I think all of these things are terrifying. Just I just want to start with that. Like they all just do so much.
And the fact that they're not limited either, right? So you can run all 4 of these.
You absolutely can, and they cancel each other out to some degree, but like they don't always. And like you can play them next to each other. But yeah, Wo-Chen dropping attack is really nice. Like it obviously sits on the field itself and can kind of just be annoying. Click Leech Seed, click Knock Off,
and it's a mini Intimidate basically.
Yeah, right. Effectively yes. And then if you don't attack into it, it is going to make you really sad. Like subs, it can set up subs. It can use Ruination. Just if you leave it alone, it's going to take away 50% of the health of every one of your mons. Like
it's got a lot of status moves too. Like, I mean, you can substitute, you can taunt.
Yeah, it technically gets screens, which is funny, but it's slow,
screens.
so I don't really I don't love that as an option, but it's there, right? Like, you can just do all kinds of stuff with this mon, and more importantly, you can support other things.
It gets tickle. It can tickle you.
I don't like that.
So I mean, this next to some, it just fits install so well, right? You put this next to Garg against a physical threat, or Tinglu next to special threats. I guess we can talk about that one next, but like. Just if you have a mon you don't want to die that needs to do something important for your game plan, like swap this guy in. Like you said, mini Intimidate, but it affects everything. You don't have to care about Defiant. You don't have to care about Inner Focus. It's gonna work.
Yeah, I think that's the thing we need to touch on too about the abilities is that it's like a global debuff. It's not a stat drop. It's not anything that triggers.
It is
really.
It's a new type of math.
Yes.
Yeah, it isn't technically new because the auras
the auras
operated on the same.
But Fairy Aura and Dark Aura do it.
But those were very rare, right? It was too restricted.
It's just 2, Yveltal and Xerneas. But it's the same, how the ability works.
It's the same principle as Photosynthesis and Quark Drive, in that it actually changes the base stats of the mons being affected as not the base stats as in like literally the values, but like the raw stat value is being modified as opposed to stages. Yeah.
Yep.
And it gets body press too, which I would think is always just because it's like not very distributed in this generation. Something. If you need offense and don't want to invest in actual like attack or anything.
Sure.
So
yeah, but this thing is 100% just going to be annoying. And it also gets Pollen Puff, which is very cool.
Ooh. That is really neat. So yeah, I agree. This is going to be a fun one to play with. Not a fun one to play against.
And the thing is that Dark Grass is a garbage typing, so it's really, especially for a defensive mon. It's offensively, you get some coverage. It's what Brute Bonnet does, but
Rowan,
it has Terra.
Yeah, we have Terra.
Exactly.
Everything's solved with Terra this gen.
But do you want to spend your Terra on a defensive annoying mon? I guess Garg does every game, so maybe.
And it has knockoff too. So like you were saying, a baby Ferrothor kind of situation.
Exactly.
Leech Seed, knockoff. You could even do like Giga Drain if you wanted just some even more healing.
Yeah, Giga Drain is heal for yourself. Pollen Puff is heal for your teammates. It depends what kind of
stab foul plays.
But yeah, again, this thing next to Garg makes me really sad. Like my game plan into that thing is often to Terra Water
Hit it hard.
wave crash in the rain and just murder it. And all of a sudden, if you lower my attack power and start healing your Garg back up with Pollen Puff while allowing it to Salt Cure at the same time, I am a sad Dolphin player. Like,
Yeah.
this is gonna have to, like, a lot of us are gonna have to really alter our game plans to account for these things.
Yeah, these things, I feel like they put a big hurt on the current meta.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Series 2 meta, it changes a lot.
Which again, you're only adding 4 Pokemon to the
But
regulation.
they
it just
do a
speaks to
lot.
how powerful they are. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
They're
I was terrified of these scenes coming in because these scenes are just insane.
I was
they're not
very happy to
restricted
not
based-
have these.
They're not
for so long.
restricted base stat totals, but if you factor in the abilities, their effective base stat totals are getting there. And not only that, they make their partners get there too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're like very well distributed stats.
Yeah, it's just
every
kind
single
of,
one of them.
and it's kind of the recent pattern, right? It's like we're past the days of like the first few gens where Game Freak was just like
Yeah, it's tough all over
rolling
the place.
dice. We're in point buy instead of stat roll at this point, right? Like
Finally.
everything has been maxed.
Everything is designed.
Which is good because it's frustrating when you have something you're like, this thing is almost
Almost there.
there, but
Why are you wasting points in
Yeah,
a useless stat?
It's
I
honestly
have a
wild
physical
to me.
sweeper, but you have 100 special attack. Like that's 100 stats that
Right.
could go anywhere.
Kingdra.
Yeah,
So
and like
sad.
and like realistically, they're gonna have some stats in the useless one, but like most of these guys
Yeah.
are like 50 or like 70 or 80 or something, right? But not
Yeah.
like over 100.
Right.
It's wild to me that Dragonite is as good as it is this format because it wastes so much in special attack, which it almost never
Yep.
runs like over 100.
Well, it's
I
like
think
that.
it's 110
Like
special attack.
Salamence is the same way. It's
Yeah.
like 110 special attack. You're like, why?
Even
Why
worse
is it
when
that
most
high?
people end up running special Salamence and then they have 134 or 135
100.
wasted.
Yeah, it's like
Yep.
135 attack or something. It's
Yeah.
like super high attack.
So that's
Yeah.
Wo Chen.
Whoa.
Wo Chen.
Whoa,
So-
Chan.
So
Do I
that's
do
Wo
the-
Chen.
Other side of the coin.
Well, wait. Chin Pao is.
I think we
defense.
should. Can
So
we
it
stick to the
goes-
defensive ones?
Yeah, I see. It goes so the actual like number order goes by stat order: attack, defense, special defense,
Right.
special attack, whatever. But yes, let's skip over to Ting Lu.
Yeah.
Right.
Ting Lu.
So it's the deer with the big bull on his head.
Yes.
Vessel of Ruin.
And I don't know that this is a hot take anymore. I think it might have been early on, but people are kind of like getting around this idea now. But I personally think this is the strongest of them, or it will eventually be the strongest as people figure it out.
I was using this thing in Series 0 because its stats are just
Unreal.
out of this world.
It is bulkier than Iron Hands in every capacity, I want to say.
Yes.
Like, if you think Iron Hands lives silly stuff, this thing lives sillier stuff. And that's
Whoa.
before you factor in the ability.
Yes.
Yeah.
So 155 HP is higher than Iron Hands. 130 defense, higher than Iron Hands.
125 defense.
80, no, it's 130.
125.
According to Picolytics, it's 130.
Oh. Showdown says 125.
Interesting.
Therapy says 125.
Yeah, in 2 places. I'll take your word for it, but still very high, and I think still higher than Iron Hands. I wonder if Picolytics is wrong
Yeah.
then. That's wild. Anyway, Iron Hands only has 108, so yeah. And then you have that 80 special defense, so like still pretty
Which is
good.
boosted by
Yeah,
ability.
that's before its ability, which is the
Oh.
other side of the coin.
They nerfed it.
Did they?
Yes. So looking at Bulbapedia, the version 100 was 130, and then in 101 plus of the game, they decreased it to 125.
Okay. I mean,
That's
That's
interesting.
really weird.
Like,
They decreased the
because that's not
HP
they
as
don't
well.
usually do that
They don't.
mid series or mid
I guess it hadn't-
generation.
They
It
straight
wasn't
up
legal
took
yet, so
10
and like no
base
one
power from
knew
it.
about it.
yeah, kind of crazy.
That's weird. Okay. Well, there you go.
But yeah. So anyway, and then 80 special defense. That's still the same.
yes.
Yeah.
So like that is its lowest defensive stat, and it's still pretty passable. And then on top of that, you have the effectively times 1.25 on it because you're lowering things by 25%. Yeah, this thing is unreal bulky. And then on top, Dark Ground it's solid defensive typing. Like you probably want to Terra this thing too, but you don't have to. And most people run AV on it, so you're
Yep.
basically talking about like 120 special defense, like before you add that ability. Like
Oh yeah.
that's it's just it will live anything.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
that's gonna be a fun thing to stall
Yeah.
with.
You put
And
this,
it gets a decent move set too.
yeah.
For some that you can be supportive. Like you're not necessarily always worried about damage, but you're just there.
Well, if you run AV, you are going to have to only choose damage moves, but
Right.
still, like Ruination, amazing on this thing.
Yep.
You want to click EQ. I think the most hilarious thing I've seen is that people are saying like it is probably the first non-Dozomon where it might be some, if not optimal, then at least viable to run Fissure on it, because you live things so much.
Yeah,
that,
you can
like,
just click
you
it
can
over
just
and
click
over
it,
and
and
over.
it's
Clicking it.
like against things that you're not going to get a 3-hit KO on. 30% is reasonable to bank on, right?
Yeah,
because it
And
only
you
has
get you get body press again with that sky high defense.
yeah, which
You
is
and body
pretty
press.
pretty worth
I
it.
love body press.
And because it only has base 110 attack, right? It's perfectly serviceable, but it's not amazing, right? You probably are talking about 3 or 4 hit KOs on a lot of stuff. That's
Right.
like even reasonable bulk with that, but.
And you get something like Snarl too if you want.
Does
if
it
you
get
just
Snarl?
want that. Yeah, you get
Wow,
Snarl.
wow. I was just thinking
So you
put this
can
thing
just
next to
keep
Arcanine,
lowering. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
and
fair.
much like Wo-Chien, you put this thing next to a Garganackle. In fact, this is probably better for Garg because Garg doesn't like getting hit on the special side.
yeah. Yeah, it gets a lot of stuff. You get Throat Chop, which I mean, sound based moves. At least you stop some. It does something.
True.
Some other moves like Rock Tomb, you can kind of control speed a little bit.
A little bit. That's a percent, right?
I saw something else too. You could do Sand Tomb even on it if you want to just
Wanna
super
trap-
chip with
You could
with
trap
your
things.
Gargarnacle. Like
Oh, you could
you can
trap
Soul
and
Cure
then click
and
Soul Cure.
Sand.
I hate
Yeah,
that so much.
Sand
Oh,
Tomb 'em
that's
up.
someone's gonna run that.
Yeah,
Someone's gonna run that. That's very good. And you
So
just
it gets-
you can't escape, and you can't do damage on either of these mons practically.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Garg gets
That's
wide
rude.
guard on that too. Like you're just stopping everything.
Yep.
yeah. That's going to be a horrible meta. Like we need 60. We need the 60-minute timers, which they did implement, but we need that for VGC now.
Oh, I hate this. Oh, I'm happy and sad.
So yeah, you got a lot of options. Even something with as slow as it is, like you could even run like something like Payback, because you're going to live.
Yeah,
That's
and
true.
So
hit
you're going to
afterwards.
smack him back with a base 100 physical attack.
That's a good point.
Surprisingly, doesn't get assurance. You'd think, but
Yeah.
yeah,
I think they kind of thought that one
they
through.
realized that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen people running like Terra Steel Heavy Slam. I think this thing's weight is pretty high. I don't.
Yeah, it looks like it would be heavy.
1,542 pounds. So
Yeah, that's
pretty
up there.
heavy.
You're probably getting the maximum multiplier on that, like
Yeah, I
90%
think
of the time.
So yeah,
Ooh, even Resto Chesto, it's possible. Yeah.
Yeah, they all have
Ooh.
rest. So both of that and Wo-Chan have rest and sleep talk too.
Yeah.
If you
yep.
just feel like just never going away. Yeah, you could PP song with Spite.
Oh my no. Okay, that's there's a really good meme of God. I haven't watched the show in forever, but you know American Dad, and it's like the CIA dad like looking at a chart of like the terror alert levels, and they replace it from like all the different color alerts, and they replace that with like meta. Off counter meta heat, and he's like staring at it, like don't you dare go from orange to red, and it's between heat and just garbage. And like I think you crossed
And that's
the line.
the Spite.
I'm sorry.
You're not wrong though. It is. It is.
You're not. So I'm gonna be running Spite and Fissure. I'll find a couple other things.
Yeah,
Rest
we're.
and sleep talk. There we go.
Fissure rest sleep talk. Oh my.
Yeah, Fissure sleep talk. How sad would your opponent be
No fourth
get-
move.
to get
Just make it a coin flip whether you're gonna click Fissure or
Rest or
Fissure.
Fissure.
Oh no.
what's the max PP on Fissure? Like
I was about to like
Eight.
eight.
Yeah,
All right,
it's
so we
not-
got eight. You got 8 chances that I'm gonna win this game or not.
That means you have to hit. Well, yes, you still have.
There was a
Three
bit
other
there
mom,
where
but-
like Terra flying for your Dozo counter was like
was yes.
very seriously considered, even if it wasn't optimal, just to deal with that nonsense. Yeah.
Well,
anyway,
Ting Lu will bring it back.
Yeah, I think Ting Lu might be the best one, but time will tell. It comes down to like very serious optimization. Like it's this and Wo-Chien are going to be much harder to run than the other two, and I think they'll be run the least on ladder. But I would be willing to bet a reasonable sum of money that that the first regional is won by one of these two.
Yeah.
Just because you can't break them.
Yeah, more likely Ting Lu. Wo-Chien feels like it's good, but not incredible.
Well, its typing kills it.
Yeah,
That's
it really
the
does. The 4 times weak to bug is rough, especially because like as a grass type, you kind of want it to be your like an Amoonguss counter that you can sit in the face of Amoonguss,
and you
not
just
take
get
damage.
pollen puffed and chunked.
Yeah, but then you have the same problem as Brute Bonnet, who is very bulky and is 2-hit KO'd by pollen puff.
Which is really sad.
Amoonguss.
Like because that was like one of the first things. Like you looked at Brute Bonnet and its stats and what it is, but then that typing just
really bad.
It hurts.
Yeah. So, move on to the more offensive boys.
Chin Pao.
Chin Pao.
Chin
So,
Pao.
my personal favorite.
Pao Knight.
Well, because of Pao Knight, and I want to...
And because of Pao Fin.
Jet, yes.
Yeah.
Jet Punch and Pao Fin.
I've seen the like not very original idea, but I still want to run it. So Gavin Michaels' Rain Team, but you replace Baxcalibur with Chen Pao.
Perfect.
And now you have Ice Spinner there, so Dragonite gets to run its standard Choice Band E-Speed set, and then
good point.
Yeah, so just taking a step back, talk about Chen Pao. So this is the leopard with swords for teeth, and pretty frail all around. 80 HP, 80 defense, 65 special defense. So like really frail on the specialist side, but. Yeah, Ice Dark, also an incredibly frail typing. You're running this thing with Focus Sash, like
it's like Weavile
90% of the time. Yeah, it's better Weavile is what it is.
Yeah, it's super Weavile.
But yeah, it's pretty strong at 120 attack, and then speed is 135, so really good. I think that's the same as Fluttermane, is that correct?
Fluttermane is 135, yes.
Yes, so speed ties Fluttermane, which is also going to lead to some absolutely horrible endgame scenarios, because they're both incredibly frail, and they both OHKO each other.
Yep.
So, although Chen Pao does get Sucker Punch, which is really big for that
so
matchup.
you get the priority.
Yeah. But yeah, its ability Sword of Ruin lowers defense.
I think it's Ice Shard too if you don't want to rely on them attacking.
Yeah. Although it's weaker than Sucker, so yeah, because I think you will be running Ice Spinner as your stab most of the time, but you could run both. You could run multiple. That's not out of the realm of possibility. But yeah, so this thing is more offensive. It lowers everything's defense, so the really like go-to strategy was to run it next to Dragonite, Terra Normal, Choice Band, E-Speed. You get another multiplier on top of that. Things just literally go away at +2 priority, which is like at least ghosts are immune, so it's not it's not counterless, right? Like normal isn't the best offensive typing.
And Psychic Terrain is a thing.
And that's when you what skill swap what's the Scrappy onto it so that it can hit.
There we go.
Oh my god.
That's the thing.
Does anything get Scrappy and skill swap?
I don't think so.
Probably not.
I would be shocked.
You gotta do like the 2-stage like
you gotta like switch it,
swap it onto something,
or
you
Jet Punch in the rain.
Yeah, or you accept that Chen Pao has stab dark typing with 120 base attack and can just take out the ghost for you.
Yes.
Also that, yes. That's a fair point.
But yeah, the other thing is that people weren't really comfortable with Palafin back in Series 0. They thought like, oh, this thing has great stats, but it's gimmick, and now people fully understand that it is potentially...
It is not a gimmick.
It is potentially the strongest mon in the format, if not among them at least, right?
Yeah.
So,
for sure.
Yeah, Palafin Jet Punches with this boost on top, like... That's
scary.
Really scary. That's gonna mess things up.
Is that? I'm trying to think. Is that more damage than the E-Speed Dragonite?
Absolutely.
It would.
If you Terra Water, it definitely.
Terra
is.
Water, yeah.
And if you have the rain,
in the rain, absolutely.
Because remember, the Jet Punch is base 60. It's only 20.
60.
It's only 20 base points lower than E-Speed. Palafin has significantly higher base attack. It's 160 compared to Dragonite's 134, which is already like really respectable. Mm-hmm. Then you add rain. Then you add Terra being like adaptability boost instead of just regular stab for E-Speed. I think Palafin actually does more damage.
Definitely. Actually, that makes a lot of sense.
If only they had calculators.
For these things. Well, it's easier for me to say all these things than to type. But yeah,
I actually
it's gonna be
thought
really
that E-Speed's power was less than 80, but that makes sense.
cool.
Yeah, it's 80.
It is the
Yep,
best.
it's 80.
It is the strongest priority move in the game. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And I want them to make Dragonite Dragon normal retroactively instead of flying, so it just always gets stabbed
Just
on
for
it.
this?
I think it's important. I think the people want it.
It's been its niche for
It's me,
like
I'm the
ever.
people.
It always gets extreme speed. You always
Yeah.
have extreme speed
Yeah.
Dragonite.
It's been like its signature move for a
Since
while.
like Gen 2, because like
Yeah.
the one you got from like the towards the end of the game was E-Speed.
Yeah, it was Hyper Beam until they made that special and ruined everything. So,
Yeah.
Yep.
but yeah, Chien-Pao going to be really good against Sacred Sword as well. So that's particularly useful. Just ruins Iron Defense setup people. It ruins Dozo. Not as much as you'd think, mind you, because Dozo's just regular physical bulk is really good, and Sacred Sword is non-stab for Chien-Pao.
But you
So
can still chunk.
yeah, you're only looking at about
more
like
so than
20
like
to 30% of an attack, but that is more than most physical attackers are looking at doing to a Dondozo. And the fact that
Yeah.
you get to
Terra fighting Sacred Sword.
yeah, the fact that you get to double up on it, and that this that their ability is it ignores unaware, all very good stuff. Yeah, and you get taunt, you get sword stance, you get sub. I think I saw Moxie playing with like a sub sword stance set. It was really cute. Like actually
Yeah.
could end up seeing some real play.
The only thing that worries me about Dondozo in this next series is these two the two offensive ones.
Sure.
Yeah,
The
and
defense
especially
drops?
the one we're about to talk about after this.
Yes, that
It's gonna
thing
ruin
absolutely
Dozo.
like I don't know if I'll be able to run Dozo into it, because if you can't get rid of it before Dozo hits the field,
You're
like
screwed.
your Dozo's gone.
Dozo's already become a very like big skill diff mon recently. Just Iron Bundle
Yeah.
and Great Tusk pinning it so effectively right now, and those two being really really common mons. Like you
Yep.
don't even necessarily need a Dozo matchup anymore. You just need enough really strong things that pin its potential
Yeah,
terror
you just
types
need
and you can
damage.
take it down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's that great graph of like the bell curve and like the really dumb person saying just hit it, and the person in the middle saying like you need a counter, and the person in the end saying just hit it. Like
Yeah. That's fair.
That's usually how it is. I mean, you don't win a match by not hitting things. You just gotta hit it more than it hits
what
you.
I'm hearing is take Haze off Palafin, put Drain Punch on Palafin,
Just
and
punch
give it Punching Glove.
No. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you heard exactly right.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just want to make sure I heard that right.
Yeah.
I'm still sick from Knoxville. I'm so sad. I wish this would go away.
How'd y'all get sick? Y'all didn't drink enough alcohol is why you
didn't kill all the germs in our body.
Yeah,
with
that must
be
that,
it.
right? Yeah.
Chiyu,
Chiyu,
the little goldfish.
God, this goldfish is this thing has scared me since like inception of it. Like
Yeah.
Okay, it's
This-
super. It's super scary. It's terrifying. It does have one of the best shinies in the game.
It has a great shiny, yeah.
I don't even know what shiny looks like.
Blue. That's just a very pretty blue.
blue-
It's
blue
a very
fire,
pretty
yeah,
blue.
very cool.
Let me look this up.
So while you're looking that up, base
Dark
stats,
fire.
it's very frail, but it's more close to Fluttermane in terms of its bulk. It has only 55 HP, only 80 defense, but 120 special defense. So at least has some bulk on the special side. You're probably not OKOing it, but that low HP means that even on the special side, you're probably 2-hit KOing it. 135 special attack, so the highest offensive stat of any of these mons, and 100 speed, so like solid Charizard tier, but not amazing. But then it has the counterpart to Chi-Yu's ability, which is Beads of Ruin. It lowers special defense. So the way that people were generally settled on running this thing in Series 0, or whatever you want to call it, was that you'd run it with a Ghost Terra and a Choice Scarf, and you'd put it next to Fluttermane with Specs or Life Orb if you wanted. And so like that made it so that if you Terra'd it, both your mons were immune to Fake Out. You could have a Farigiraf in the back or something if you were scared of priority, but outside of priority, and even then, if you Terra Ghost, you're immune to Dragonite. So like E-Speed isn't touching you either. You need to be hit by some
Palafin.
typed. Yeah, and Palafin isn't doing that turn 1, right? Like actually,
Yeah.
Baby Palafin probably could OKO you with
Baby
a
Palafin
Jetpack.
do-
yeah, probably.
Yeah,
if
that
Especially
Terra
with rain.
Water,
it's
Terra Water,
and or Rain would do the trick. Yeah.
Yep.
So you do have to be careful of that, but in general, you just have those two together, and you ideally you Terra Fairy the Fluttermane, and you have Heat Wave plus Dazzling Gleam with this Beads of Ruin lowering special defense, and everything melted. It was
Everything goes
unreal.
away.
You had a lot of matchups where people are like, well, my game plan into you is to lead exactly the same thing and pray for speed ties. And
Yep.
that's kind of how it worked, because whoever went first would win. That would just be that.
Yep. Yeah, I've already seen this on Twitter or whatever. People like, look at this thing melting stuff again, and I'm like, yeah, it's sounds familiar. If you were around,
it's been
in
doing
November,
that.
December.
Yeah,
Whatever.
it's been doing that for a while. Or it
Yeah.
did that in Series 0. Like it is, and this is also the thing. Like I look for. It's just like the future, because just coming out of Sword and Shield, I'm like, Kyogre, Xerneas. Like this
You
thing
put a
is
choice scarf.
the absolute devil of a mod. Like.
What if you have your choice scarf Kyogre, it Terra Waters, it clicks Water Spout, and as you're clicking that, the goldfish swaps in, and
Boom.
anything could, like, you could resist that Water Spout, and you were still dying.
You're
That's
gone.
just the
Yeah.
end
Yep.
of it right
Yeah.
there.
I think Koraidon in the sun with an assault vest probably does all right against it, but like, yeah, it's an insane
No, wait-
amount of like damage boost.
Wait till
like,
Miraidon gets to sit next to this thing.
Yeah, well, and a lot of times because like when you're doing your damage counts, like because this is 25%,
It's a very weird,
it's
weird count,
and
yeah.
so a lot of times like if you're like, okay, I just need to be able to live one of these, so you're calcing that you live it at 10%, maybe 5%, like just so it's not a roll. But like, so this just nullifies,
Yeah.
and a lot of times you cannot invest enough to live a 25% increase in damage.
Yeah, calcs are just very weird now. They already have been, and they're getting even worse. Like,
Yeah, that's very true.
I was playing like a friend guard mousehold support team right at Knoxville, and so I was thinking like, okay, I have to factor in friend guard. I've clicked baby doll eyes, so I lowered them by a stage, but then they have cork drive. I don't even know. I probably live this, maybe. Like, let's find out.
Yeah, it's
like,
just
They're making this math game harder
That's right.
than it already was.
yeah. We need the showdown thing so you can like kind of like look at
yeah, it's
like,
really
the,
it's
the raw stats.
well,
like,
showdown's
right.
really helpful because it tells you the last attack did exactly this percent of the
Right.
HP. And I was
Yes.
like, okay, I could
Oh,
make an
I did
educated base on-
53%. Like,
And-
oh, that's a
Yeah, whereas in game, I'm looking, I was like, it was just past the O in my name, so
How
like,
many
maybe.
pixels was that?
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised no one's like ever made like a timer for like how fast a bar drops so you can like count real fast. So, like,
That's still too much. Too.
I wonder
quick
if you
to
could
count.
like kind of cheat by what if you had like a piece of tape on a color-coded piece of tape on your Switch in the exact spot that the HP bars were, and that could tell you like
is
what
there
increment
anything
that
in the rules that
legal?
says, yeah,
you
Does
can
that count as
can
a
I-
modified Switch?
Can I draw on my Switch with Sharpie?
Could you draw on your Switch with Sharpie?
maybe if you had to do it between every match, so you have to memorize what it is. Like you just do it so many
The
times. where it's
year
just
the year
muscle
is
memory.
20XX. The meta has devolved to who can draw the most perfectly symmetrical.
You see people instead of like looking at like
HP
team
increments.
preview, they're just like they're doodling on their Switch.
Oh, this is the
okay.
dystopian future.
That's the sweaty like. Okay, we became like League of Legends now. Like
Yeah, right. It's not League of Legends till they pay us.
StarCraft, like
Yeah.
super sweaty type of competition here.
So what I think could be cool is what if you do Ting Lu and Wo Chen together? Neither of them are doing big damage into things anyway, and you just click Ruination and Leech Seed and Pollen Puff. And you
One
just
has leftovers and-
yeah, and you just slowly bleed them to death. And there's literally like,
I
Oh, that's a beautiful world. I love that world. You have Garganackle in the back.
yeah, exactly.
You also have the Dondozo
or a
core.
Parish song in the back, right? Something.
God.
Something
Oh
silly, like-
no! After
But
some
these things
stuff that
are
I'm
actually-
cooking up for Charlotte, because I'm cooking up a stall team for Charlotte.
Yeah.
This'll be
Too bad you
fun
don't
to-
have these.
Yeah, this will be fun to play with after the fact.
I think the defensive ones are going to be really good for Parish Song too. Because like, I was trying to learn Parish after seeing like Parish Dolphin win again in Knoxville, and like,
Right.
I'm apparently not good enough for this archetype. But like, it's going to be
it's
so
a
good
weird-
because there's a lot of things where you just like you have to know if I swap in, can I take this and then live another turn so that like what Wolfie was saying about you have to play perfectly every turn. He's not lying, and not just play perfectly. Like you have to make perfect guesses too. Like
Yeah.
it's you have to get the turns right every
You
time.
have to play. You have to read things.
Yeah, and this is
That's
just
always-
another thing where you swap in the Tinglu and like, okay, like this thing can absolutely take a hit, period. And then on top of that, it's going to help my Gothitelle live the one turn it isn't allowed to protect, and like suddenly your Perish goes a lot better.
True.
Yeah, that's the one thing lost during the sword and shield area, like with Wolfie. Like I feel like because like, you know, he became such a big content creator, but like you kind of lost because that's what made him so good was his reads.
Yeah.
That's why he won the 2016 Worlds whatever because it was his reads.
Yeah,
'Cause, you know, his swords dance with the Rayquaza right in the face of, you know, getting O-code.
I'd say the game has become. It was already like Swish was probably like the least read based meta from what I've seen at
You
least.
couldn't though because
Dynamax was just
you swap into a +2 like Dynamax move, you know, a 140, 150 base power. You
Yeah,
can't
exactly.
just swap in a baby Pokemon in that because you're going to get O-code.
it became very flowcharty and just does my stuff on the field live the thing and what can I
Yes.
do with just what's on there. And then you get rid of that and you go back to the original, like just how read based Pokemon was, and then you add Terra to it, and I think that just adds an extra dimension of what is of having to
It
get in your
truly
opponent's
does.
head. And
Yep.
that's why like there's so many old players who are coming out of the woodwork who were really good back in the day but just disappeared for Swish, and they're back and they're just hitting the ground running and cutting events after having not been seen for ages, because like this format, for better or worse, like it is for better, like objectively it's for worse for me because I'm not good enough to do this, but like they
Well,
like
well
it's
said.
so
feel ya.
it's so fundamental based, and like people who can do that kind of stuff will succeed more often than not.
Yeah.
It is kind of wild how like same but different Sword and Shield to this meta is.
I think you see like a lot of the people who got started in Swish are not doing as well, and they're all like everybody's kind of like catching
Yeah.
on. I think all of us
Yeah.
are improving over time, like getting,
I
getting
feel like
better with each event.
I feel like back when I started Sword and Shield, it's almost like that same kind of feeling where I'm having to learn.
Yeah.
At least I have more of a basis now and jumping off of from that.
Yeah.
Compared to Sword and Shield, where I was like in the first like big online event, I was bringing like I don't know, like a straight up singles team, like
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
like
Yeah, I was definitely getting my sets off Smogon for a little bit there. When I
yeah,
was
yeah.
starting.
Oh,
It's like,
because
this
it
is-
was
this is-
bad.
This is the site, right? I don't,
That's the competitive side.
I went from that to playing like, you know, full on colossal team, like
there you go.
and then
Yeah.
like making the first players cup with it. Like
Yeah,
it was
it
like
took me a
such night and
long
day.
time to start playing good things in Swish. Honestly, like just very set on being unique. That's not how you win.
Unfortunately
but-
not.
Unfortunately not. But yeah, I think that's all the ruins. It's gonna like we've just touched on like the absolute surface level, like
I feel like barely scratched the surface, right?
Exactly.
Like we
Yeah.
tip of the iceberg. People are gonna
People-
come up with some crazy stuff with these.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you want to spend time like actually theory crafting, team building, cooking, brewing, whatever you want to call it nowadays with these Pokemon, like you're gonna have just a field day trying to figure out calcs and how to use these things right and bring it onto the showdown ladder
Yeah,
and
just try it.
Oh.
No one cares about your ELO on the Regulation C showdown ladder.
That's
Oh,
true.
not right now.
Just cook up some stuff and see how it does. Like come up with something crazy. You may have the next big meta thing. I think I saw someone just released their team that they have been in top 5 on cart with in Series 2. Eviolite Miss Drevis. They were unable to travel to events, so no one saw it come up, but they are dominating ladder with it. And it's not like
Really?
anything crazy, it's just support moves. It's a bulky little ghost that can't be
Yeah.
faked out and clicks really annoying moves into you. I think Cybertron just did a video on it and said since the guy made it public, and like that all that tech is out there. Some what you're cooking might end up being that thing. So like
that's a good point.
Yeah.
try it out.
Yeah, I mean, especially on ladder, like, yeah, it's cool to be at the top of the ladder and
Yeah.
stuff, but like, sometimes you just gotta.
If you lose 30 games in a row and you're unhappy about your win-loss record, there's a big fat reset button on your profile in Showdown to
There
start
is.
from scratch.
Yes, there
No
is.
one
You
will
can
ever
just
know.
completely
Just do it.
wipe it clean,
Yeah.
and even then, like, you don't. It's a weird showdown's kind of a weird climb, like how Elo works. You know, like the more you play, the more likely you're gonna climb.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what
It's
that GXC thing is, right? It's interesting. You'll see
Yeah.
people with very high scores, but with really bad
Low
percentages
G-
for their
that just
GXC.
means they play a lot. But you're gonna climb if you're over 50. If you're 51%,
You're
you're gonna
climbing.
climb.
Yep.
You're climbing, and you could reach the top eventually with that kind of win percentage. Because That's how percentages work.
It will you will start playing harder people, mind you. But
yeah, but I mean, if you always win 51% of your games, you're going to climb.
Right.
Yeah. What was
Well-
it? Just Fissure Sleep Talk. Let's go.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Fissure Sleep.
30% of the
Spite.
time, it wins every
Spite.
time.
Yeah, that's it. That's the new motto of
We need
the
so we
Fissure
need something.
Corner.
We need something running Sweet Scent. Just swapping. What is it? Ring Target. Does Ring Target work with Fissure? Does that
No,
increase?
no.
It does not. I
Ring
think
Target's
Ring
targeting.
Target's just for it's for
Okay,
it's for super effective stuff. It makes
So
it
it gets
if you're-
wide lens. So we'll give it wide lens.
It doesn't affect nothing except for lock on and mind reader affect Oko moves. They have
Oh,
their
really?
own. They have their own accuracy counter because of how potentially busted it could be. Yeah,
That makes sense.
I know that.
That's fair.
I don't like to run moves that
and
have a
I don't
30%
think there's
chance to hit.
I don't think there's many things in the game that get both of those. I think like Articuno was like infamous for having mind reader and sheer cold at one point.
Right.
And yeah,
But then you're running an Articuno.
yeah,
and-
exactly.
It's not living very long.
No.
It's not living after the mind reader. Maybe.
Rocks.
Articuno and 3 redirectors.
There it is.
Yeah, rock slide. Say this
Yeah,
word
or
to
white
scare an
guard.
Articuno
Someone's gotta have a
player.
white guard. Yeah.
Hey,
Now you can Terra.
Terra.
Yeah, you can Terra now. And
Terra Articuno is going to be it's going to be the
No.
top of the meta.
No.
You know what
that's
also- what also
that's one of the
breaks-
crazy things.
How mind reader only works for a turn, right? So I'm pretty sure protect just ruins that whole strategy.
It does, yes. If you
Need it as well. You have to have fate. Then
Taunt. Oh, yeah. Feint. I like that. Yeah.
faint it.
yeah.
I think that-
So that's one thing. Terra is just going to like the more power we add into these formats. So whenever we eventually get the DLC to a point, I don't think with more mods is going to be as crazy as like adding like the Ruinous right now. But like when we add the other sub legends, so when you get your Landorus, when you get that whole group in,
Yep.
and then when we get restricteds, it is going to be an absolute nightmare it's going to be Chaos Land.
It's gonna be terrible.
Like
In a fun way. It'll be fun. Next year will be fun,
it's going to be
but
wild.
bad.
It's going to be insane. Like it's going to be worse than Dynamax. I feel like
I'm looking forward to Landorus with this.
I feel like it's worse than Dynamax.
I don't like Incineroar's design, which is why I don't like playing
need
him.
it.
Although I do,
Oh my
we
God.
do need it.
Oh my God, we need
but
it
I
so
love
bad.
Landorus's design. He's like a sky cat. He's great. So like
yeah,
with a mustache, those are all my favorite things in one go. So
and
like,
this
Sky
is
cat and
he's better,
mustache.
and he's better in a non-Dynamax setting too.
Yeah,
and now you
for
can.
sure.
he likes
Get
those
rid of his
airstreams,
typing.
but yeah, you're right. He's gonna get like U-turn
Yeah.
stuff back. Yeah,
Everything like the
Yeah.
airstreams, though.
yeah. Well, not many things
Everything
had
like airstream.
things had stab airstream on base 145 attack.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's fair.
yeah. But yeah, I think that might
that covers
be
it.
about time to wrap it up. Yeah.
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 So, you have a month left before these things actually hit the real game. So good luck
Yeah,
with that.
April, you got till April.
3 weeks.
3 weeks. Oh
which
gosh.
isn't Fort Wayne.
Fort Wayne is the
gonna
first
be-
one. That's
It'll be regular.
Which is
Like the
awesome. Which is awesome because it like literally the day it changes, like
Yeah.
they're forced to play it.
That's
Like,
that's what Orlando was.
Yep.
yeah.
So
But that's why you have Showdown. Go practice on Showdown. Don't be that person
If
that
you're going
only
to Fort
practices
Wayne,
on carts.
if you're on Fort Wayne, absolutely practice Showdown.
Yeah.
anyone here going to Fort
Yeah.
Wayne?
No.
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 No. After Charlotte, it's just NAIC for me.
I might try to go to NAIC.
I'm considering Connecticut, but probably just NAIC.
I'm considering Connecticut as well, and I'm definitely doing I really want to do NAIC. So
I want to do NAIC, so
we'll
I'll
see.
we'll work on that.
Okay. Cool. We'll talk offline.
That's the only one I have to take off for work, I think, because it's not
It's
just
like Thursday and Friday.
it's
there's
actually
stuff
Thursday.
happening. Yeah.
yeah.
Different.
So might have to take off work for that. We'll see.
We'll see. Well, let's see. We got the Battle Corner going on. So this comes out on Thursday. So you have this evening and tomorrow to sign up for the next Battle Corner. It'll start
Yeah.
this upcoming Saturday on the 10th.
We're
11th.
playing on it, right? Are we playing?
You
All
two
three of us
haven't
playing
signed
it?
up for it yet.
Yeah, I've been too lazy to sign up, but I will play in it. So
Okay,
Sign
cool.
up, dang it.
Just pretend I signed
Signing
up.
up and actually playing is.
It's all.
whatever.
It's so
Okay.
we're in Limitless, which is cool. So
Yeah.
sign
I'll
up there.
get signed up.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I gotta
to the-
defend my title.
You do. That's fair.
It's true. It's true.
You two, and everyone else who has signed up so far. So thank you all for doing that. It's exciting. We got the space down in the Discord for it, where we're going to start talking a little bit more as the dates close in for that event. We have some other fun things that are there. So once you get in the Discord, we have a nice little surprise for you in that section of the Discord. So sign up for the Battle Corner. That's my plug there. Next week we'll be here. I have on my little cheat sheet for closing that we talk about the next topic, but we never do. And last week we did it wrong, so that's fine. But I will say thank you to RobKTA and Game Chops for use of our theme song, Goldenrod Game Corner, off of the Ultraball album. There we go. Stumbled over those words. I've been Harrison. You can find me at Twitch and Twitter and RoixN. I'll be streaming. If not tonight when this drops, then Friday night is my goal. So sometimes I'm streaming this week. I will stream this week for sure. Hold me to that. Rowan, who are you?
I'm Rowan.
Yeah! Woo!
You can find me on YouTube as Rowan Hall. The last video is still just the team report and battling from Knoxville, but I will be putting up all my Malamar games as they come up. And you can also find me on Twitter as Rowan W. Hall.
That was for you, Bruno.
And Sheldon.
This is Sheldon. You can find me on Twitter at Captain_Yanova and on Twitch at Captain Yanova, which I need to stream.
Yeah, you do.
Again. I know.
I gotta reclaim the streaming title here.
I know. Yeah, so I'll get back to something. I will be posting probably YouTube. I don't know if I'm going to stream our match or not. I haven't really decided how I'm going to do the recording yet.
I'm not going to snipe you, so you should just stream.
Yeah, well, I'm not worried about. No, I'm not worried about that. But I don't know if I'm going to record it or stream it and post a VOD.
Or you can do both, record it and stream
both
it.
is good.
Well, that's what I meant. I would post the VOD to
Yeah.
my YouTube channel, which I don't even remember what my full YouTube handle is. I think it's probably Captain Unova. But
Well, when you give it to me,
it'll be in the link tree.
it'll be in the link tree like everything else down
Hey,
below.
there we go.
We've been the Game Corner. You can find us at Game Corner VGC. You can find us the Discord link down below in the link tree. Everything we've said and more, everything that we do, we try to throw in that link tree, including, I'm going to shout it out because he didn't, Rowan's Android app, Replay Genie, is still there. So
Thank you.
go do that. Go use that.
I will as soon as it gets to iOS. I will check that thing out in a heartbeat when it's on iOS.
Yeah, fair enough. It'll take me a second. I have some more pressing real life stuff right now.
That's fair. Life gets in the way of many things.
No, I need my Pokemon apps. Like, give me Pokemon apps.
You don't pay me a salary. I'm down.
That, he raises a good point. Speaking of paying us a salary, our Patreon's down there as well.
I do accept beer.
There's that good plug. And then the other thing I was going to say is, I don't say this, but like and comments on the video. I don't never say like. Hit the like button and subscribe. Is that what you're supposed to say on YouTube? Whatever.
Yeah. Hit that little bell icon for notifications whenever we have a new video come up.
And the question for this week is, which of those 4 Ruinous Pokemon is your favorite design and that you want to play with? So, boom. There you go. And until next time, press start and game on. Bye!
All right, sorry, I'm dropping. Gotta
Get out, leave.
See ya.
Bye.
I'm done too. Okay, I'll see you later. I gotta go stop being sick.
All right.
Oh gosh.
Hope you feel better.
Me too. I don't know what Knoxville did to me, but I don't like it.
And we were in a crowd of people very close together.
And I'm just gonna go do it again. So,
I know.
whoops. All right. See ya.
Later, man.